For starters, I really want to apologize because my makeup looks so bad and dry today. I look like the ghost of Christmas past. But on the flip side, I am finally filming this video. So, hello everyone, my name is Erin and today I have another video for you. I will be talking about the books I read in March. March was a pretty iffy month of reading for me. I read books that I enjoyed, however I only read 3.5 books, and I say 0.5 for a reason, we'll get there. So in terms of quality, it was great, but in terms of quantity, not so great compared to my 15th in February, but we can just move on from that. I also did not finish one of the books I really wanted to read this month, Shadow Me, but I will be finishing it April 1st because I had to get to Defy Me the day it comes out. It just has to happen, so I'm just gonna make myself go through hell. The first book I read this month, I read through Sora Digital Library. If you do not know about that, I really suggest looking it up because it's a great source to get ebooks and audiobooks, and that book was To Kill a Kingdom. I very much enjoyed this book. I took my time reading it, so I really got the depth of the characters and the plot, and that's not something I usually do because I like to finish my books in a day. This was like a new experience for me. It was really fun. I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars, which is not a surprise because if you are like me and you love enemies to lovers, oh boy, are you going to enjoy this book. It follows a siren named Lyra, and she is known as the Princess Serpent. That's not right. She's something. Oh, what's her name? I forgot. Either way, she is notorious amongst humans and even amongst her own kind for stealing the hearts of princes. This story does kind of follow the story of Ariel, so she is cast out of sea by her own mother, and she is forced to live amongst this crew of siren hunters, their captain being a prince, and he wants to find this siren that's stealing all these princes because hello, he's a prince and also his friend. And that is how we get our enemies to lovers and just drama. I won't tell you too much. I really think you should go into it not knowing a lot about it because that's how I went into it and I absolutely adored it. So just have fun. Oh, you may be so proud of me. I have a really bad habit of spoiling myself, and that did not happen this month. Next story I finished is the 0.5 I mentioned earlier, and that is Oedipus Rex, like the first play in the Oedipus Rex cycle, whatever. I've always heard about Oedipus Rex because I'm really into Greek mythology. I have a collection of Greek short stories right on my nightstand, along with one of my favorite books of all time, The Song of Achilles. Yeah, I never had any desire to read this story, but then my language arts teacher was like, we're gonna read Oedipus Rex for like our last quarter of school. Which is fine. I really don't have nothing against that. I like to read anyways. I read and write. So, you know, we're reading Oedipus Rex. And for someone who loves Greek mythology, I hated Oedipus Rex. I just felt like there was so much potential that we could have really just dived into. And yet it almost felt like the plot twist that was supposed to happen in the story, it was not even a plot twist. Every single thing that should have been a huge plot twist, you kind of guessed, and it was usually right. Speaking of which, Oedipus is the most oblivious character I've ever read. It is not to the point where it's like, oh, he's so stupid, it's so charming. It's to the point where it's like, oh my god, this guy is running a whole country, how is he a good leader? It's almost like you were watching Star Wars in the 1970s, and you already knew the plot twist about Luke and his father from day one, from the jump. And then when you officially got there, it wasn't even like, oh my god, what? Like you knew, but the excitement wasn't there. It was like, duh. Like duh. Nice going, Luke. It's just, Oedipus Rex was a disappointment for me. I was very disappointed. I had really high expectations and they were not met. The next book I read this month, I did a book talk on if you guys would like to go watch that. And that's The Opposite of Always by Justin A. Reynolds. I just want to scream about this book with someone. I picked up this book because it was like being advertised on like Instagram and Twitter everywhere, and I said, I want to read that. And also, I was in the mood to read a book about black people that's not about oppression, and ding 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 is here. I also made a video about that if you guys want to go watch it. Anyways, this story follows a boy named Jack, and Jack falls in love with Kate, and boom, everything's great, but then boom, Kate dies. That's not spoilers in the synopsis. Jack is brought all the way back in time from when they first met, and he thinks, hey, this is my time to save Kate. I'm gonna save Kate, I'm gonna get my girl, life will go on. Or does it? I very much enjoyed this book. In my review, I said my enjoyment level was like a 3 out of 5 stars, but I'm gonna go back and say it was more like a 4 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 stars. Has your rating for a book ever gone up or down like a little bit after you read it? Like you're just reflecting and you realize that it was a lot better than you originally thought it was, or you realized it was a lot worse than you originally thought it was? That's usually what it's like for me, but this was a rare occurrence where I was like, hey, I actually like this book a lot more than I thought I did. So I ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like based off the synopsis that I just gave you and the synopsis in the book, you may think it's a very basic plot line. You've seen it before, you've read it before, and that's fine because that was kind of my thought process. But upon reading it, it really is a story on its own. It talks about so much more than just Jack and Kate. It's about love, it's about family, it's about friendship, it's about finding yourself, it's about adapting to change and accepting fate. It covers so many topics with few words, yet a lot of detail, and I think that is the magic of this book, and it was probably my second favorite read this month. My last book this month is my favorite book of March, and that is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kammerer. This book was a 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. I read this book because book Twitter was obsessing over it, and I was like, okay, what's the hype here? And I finally understand. It was wonderful. This book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and I'm not gonna tell you the synopsis simply because I want you to go in knowing nothing. Ooh, she's cruel. I am. Just go in knowing nothing. Just know it is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and literally, it's like one of the most intricate and different retellings I've ever read. This book and To Kill a Kingdom, like, they were based off of those stories, but they were just so far from those stories at the same time, and not in a way that was weird or like misleading at all. It did take me a lot longer than usual to read this book simply because I had a lot of things going on. For example, I had Ohio DECA conferences to compete and just things like that, you know. But whenever I did pick up this book, it was super fast-paced and fun, and I was just really excited to be back into this world. And it was nice. It was a nice little breather. I'm happy that lived up to the hype. Book Twitter did not leave me astray. Speaking of book Twitter, I plan on reading The Gilded Wolves next month simply because I've heard so much about it, and I just have to read it at this point. I have to. And, you know, they didn't let me down before. But here's the thing, like, no one really likes to go to Wolves. Well, they do or they don't. Like, you either love it or you hate it. I'm just curious because they say it's the next Sister Crows, and I just feel like that's kind of rude to leave Bardugo because Sister Crows is way too much of a masterpiece on its own to be compared to The Gilded Wolves. Haven't even read it yet, but I do know that's true. So yes, that was my reading in the month of March 2019. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I do make videos every single week, so come back, subscribe if you guys want more good times. Yeah. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, the comment section is down below. Let's chat. We can totally do that. I'm totally going to do that for you, with you. That just sounded really sexual, and I'm going to leave now. Bye.